Hello and welcome to Bowler CBT Labs. In this lab we will be taking a look at the Cisco iOS zone-based firewall, also known as the zone-based policy firewall, which is a feature of the Cisco iOS run on routers, slightly different than the firewall that you'll find on an ASA or a PIX. This utilizes different zones, and then you can assign interfaces to zones. If this particular policy set or theory behind firewalls is new to you, I will do a quick review, but since this is approaching or in the CCNP level, I'm going to assume that most of the viewers will have at least a basic knowledge of this type of firewall, as it is introduced in the CCNA security exam series. So the foundation knowledge that we are going to need here, which we will be utilizing, are access lists, extended ACLs in that regard. We will also be configuring zones and zone pairs, as well as class maps, policy maps, parameter maps, and we will also briefly touch on configuring custom port mappings. So with our zones, what we have essentially are ways to segment our zones or interfaces and then apply policies for the traffic that will pass between the zones. Only until recently, the traffic inter-zone, that would be between the different zones, has been able to be inspected. But with the introduction of the Cisco iOS 15.0.1m, traffic that is intra-zone can then be inspected. So when you're setting up a zone pair, you can actually set up a zone pair for a source and destination within the same zone. We are not running that iOS feature in this particular lab, and we will only be configuring inter-zone communication policies, mostly between the inside and DMZ. Within this particular lab video, that's what we'll touch on, and then we will also have another lab video where we do a little bit more advanced configuration at the layer 7 level with some URL filtering, and we won't get into that here. We will basically lay a foundation in this particular lab and then build on top of that in our slightly more advanced lab that will go into service policies and layer 7 filtering. What I would like to first go over here are the zones that we will configure and the zone pairs that will be applied. You can see here that I've set up some names here for the routers, and those will actually match the zones. So we have our inside router, which would be internal to the, we'll say, the trusted side of the network. We have the DMZ zone, which could be hosting